What's going on, guys? Gomes here. Did you happen to catch there was a big reveal today? There was a legend reveal, there was a feature premiere, and my hair looks not as good as it could, but we have a lot to discuss today. We have new hitting features, new pitching features, a legend reveal, as I said. A lot of stuff to go through. Needless to say, leave a like down below. It really does help me out a bunch. Subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. This is your spot for all MLB 21 news when it comes to game time, tips, gameplays, all that sort. It's going to be here. Would really appreciate if you subscribe. Trying to get to 50,000 before the game releases. But that being said, I think I've said enough. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this one as we are going to head in right here. And yeah, we're going to talk about this. So it is actually, there's nothing really audio that I have to tell you that they say. I can just repeat it for you. So we're on YouTube right here. And there is a good amount of stuff. You see right here, pitching and hitting, complete fielding overhaul. This is a schedule, rather, of what we're going to see. Today we had pitching and hitting, then next week on Thursday. All these feature premieres, they're going to be on YouTube, they're going to be on Twitch, Facebook Live. Get excited. They're going to be on those platforms, and they're going to be at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. You can do the rest. 3 Pacific time. If you're Mountain time, 4. And it's going to be every Thursday. So next week is fielding, following, Road to the Show, then franchise updates, Next Gen, and Diamond Dynasty. So getting into this one, first thing you're going to notice is there is 3 distinct styles of play, as you're going to see right here. This is what they said. Last year, everything was on simulation. They added casual and comp into the game. It was prior simulation, and there was a balance of 50% rating dependent and 50% input dependent. So, comp. Ratings are going to matter. Obviously, you're not going to have Ben Revere cranking out dingers like the new legend that we saw today, Alfonso Soriano, which you'll soon see that I'm telling the truth on that one. Yeah, so it is going to be much more input dependent for competitive play, which is the standard for online play. The other ones, casual, very arcade-like, couch to couch, hit a bunch of home runs, more or less. It affects the AI, and they more so play relaxed. So you can go buck wild, you can really practice stuff and learn the game of baseball if you're new to it, for example. That's how they described it. And limit fielding errors. I assume this is talking about bullshit. I have Diamond Defense Cal Ripken Jr., and for some reason, he wants to play hot potato with a routine ground ball at shortstop. Hopefully, competitive puts the kibosh to that. That's what I'm hoping for. More reliance on baseball strategy. You're going to get burned real bad if you do not take pitchers out with red stamina, for example. Then we're going to move on a little bit here. Hopefully, this all looks pretty well to you guys. I think this is the easiest way to do things. This is what I wanted to say. Hall of Fame is recommended. Is this jumping to conclusions? Maybe. But something that we did find out is pitch speeds are going to be variable depending on the difficulty you are playing on and probably the game style as well. Is Hall of Fame going to be the standard for online play? I'm not sure. It probably could still be All-Star, but the fact that they're saying Hall of Fame difficulty is the recommended difficulty, which if I'm blocking that, you guys can see it right there. So that is quite cool to see. Of course, we're going to have to see. We have to actually get our hands on the game to see truly how fast these pitch speeds are going to be, and then you can choose dynamic difficulty based on a specific difficulty to start out. So if you're all-star, pick dynamic, and it'll progress as you get progressively better at the game. So that's quite interesting. We're going to move on to seeing some kind of gameplay right here. Check swings is what they're modeling right here. They said definitively, and I can attest to this, as I did play the tech test. I can attest to the tech test that check swings, you're gonna get called for strikes more often than prior. I would say quite significant jump up from what it was in MLB 20, and you're also gonna see the animation is more so going to be the result. Remember, in MLB 20, you'd have something that is so obviously, he went around and Blues. No, go. You look good to me. That's ball. Take your base. So that is hopefully going to at least reduce some of the frustration on that end, which I'm looking very forward to. So they throw out a Cloverfield shaky cam right there, or just name bad action move. Cloverfield's not bad. But moving on to this one. Discipline. They also mentioned that. Discipline does not influence check swings anymore. It's all based on your timing of pressing the button and the pressure that you input into the X, circle, or square button for PlayStation, depending on what type of swing you do. Obviously, you guys know it's harder to get a check swing call. Even last year, if you power swing, check swing, you're usually going to get called for a strike. So that should remain consistent. We're going to move. Wow. How did they know I was ready to move on? This is just a little graphic for you guys if you're interested to see. They didn't mention any changes in this feature premiere as far as perfect perfects go. If you ask me, 850 roundabout for a batting average on perfect ain't bad. Typically, we're going to focus on that 1 time out of 10, that 2 times out of 10 that it doesn't go, and you're going to forget about all the smacks that you get for perfect perfects. I enjoyed the system last year. Hopefully, it's going to stay, if not the same, a bit better. It could be improved minimally. And also, something with perfect perfects, they are now 99% plus percent chance for it to be fair. Last year, it was 98%. A couple times where I got a perfect, it went foul. I thought, it was a visual glitch with the game. No, that's just how it is. Not often that would happen, but every now and then I would have that occur. So let's keep moving on. PAR. This is going to stand for perfect accuracy region. This is going to reduce the amount of frustration you had when you would throw a curveball in the dirt and it would end up down the middle for a home run. Perfect accuracy region. Let's go to where they really showcase this off right now, and it is, I'll tell you how it affects. So you see that outline shadow right there. That, if you have a perfect release, no matter your pitching input, and that will matter. Analog is dead, which I'll show you in just a moment. If you have a perfect release, it is guaranteed to be somewhere within that shadow. Curveballs in particular, breaking balls in general, are going to be more tough to control than a fastball. And it's going to be dependent on each pitcher, their control ratings, and all of that sort. Difficulty is going to play into effect. But I think that's really good. If you are perfect, it's going to be within that shadowed area. If you have good input, let me get the exact verbatim quote. It is going to be relatively close. That's the answer that we got. So, bit of a broad term, bit vague, but you would like to think just maybe increase it a little bit, and it's got to be in there. If you're still good, I don't think it's going to end up here, more or less is what they're saying, which is good because last year, you were really just rolling the dice and hoping for a Yahtzee. It was tough. It was stressful. If I go bald by 30, that's likely the reason. Throwing curveballs online. But yeah, perfect accuracy region, energy, confidence, difficulty, and control / pitcher ratings overarching are going to affect this. So I would imagine your BB9 and your, overall your control for each pitch. You're going to notice right here, this is Blake Snell. The number 1 pitch is his best pitch, the fastball. A lot tighter of a window of where it could possibly end up. The changeup, bit bigger. The slider, bit bigger. The curveball, bit bigger. It's like me in quarantine. It just balloons in size, So, so it is going to work like that. Essentially, the best thing that you should know is it is going to be more difficult to throw the high, your number 5 pitch than it would be your number 3, let alone your number 1. Plan on the #1 pitch for that given pitcher to always be their tightest window. Obviously, you can go in-game and test it for yourself. So we're going to move on a little bit here. That's with Blake Snell. They show the same thing right there. This is very revealing. Hall of Fame on all of these. Pinpoint is miraculously better in terms of accuracy potential than Meter, which is second. Meter is more accurate than pure analog. Wouldn't you know it? Everybody in stream that I thought was trolling was actually right. So that is quite interesting to see for you guys. Let's move on to Pinpoint pitching. This is something I adored when I played the tech test. I thought it was fantastic. At first, I didn't understand it for the life of me, but it ended up making a lot of sense, and I ended up really enjoying the feature. I'll show you guys some actual gameplay of them using it, and essentially what you're going to notice, good lord, is this going to load? Yeah, do I have to refresh the page or something? Imagine if they privated this, that would be unfortunate. This, you can see, these are all the different paths that you're going to have to follow, which, like I said, we'll get some actual gameplay here so you can see it hands-on. Fastball, for example, you go down, you go up. You just have to follow it. It's a bit hard to explain, but you see there's a curveball. It gives you a pattern of how to go and how fast to go, and that highlighted circle is where you have to come down to. Another cool thing is they give you feedback. You can be too quick to release. You can be too slow to release, which is one of the biggest things with Pinpoint. High risk, high reward. It is light years more accurate potential than any of the other pitching inputs, but you can't go on autopilot like you can with some of the other pitching inputs. Pure analog isn't inherently difficult if you've used it for more than 10 minutes. At least I find. I don't have a hard time picking that up, even when I first started using it. This is going to take some time. It took me a good hour, 2 hours to really get it down during the tech test. It's going to take some time to tinker with and just do that in practice, which is really cool to see. Speaking of practice, you can now specifically set what pitch and where they're going to throw that pitch. So if you have trouble with sinkers up and in, you can explicitly practice on that specific scenario. Is that enough S's for you? Luckily, we have the pop filter on. So practice is going to be enhanced opposed to previous years. Everything else works pretty much the same. A little bit more of this, as you guys can see. It's tight. It works. You can get perfect, where it is essentially going to be in that par, again, the perfect accuracy region. I really like what they're doing with pitching. It creates more of a skill gap. You can't go on autopilot and just, I don't know, watch a YouTube video, read Twitch chat, which sucks for you guys if I ever get back to streaming. I plan to, just so you guys know. But that's essentially all they showed. Then they had this reveal right here. And it is, of course, you know who. It is going to be Alfonso Soriano, as we said, which I'm very happy about. A lot of people have been looking forward to this one, as have I. You know, of course, could you argue there's a troll there with the #2? Was I fooled? Maybe. For a few seconds, come on. Did I really think they're going to have Derek Jeter in just as a shoe-in legend? No, of course not. Never would Alfonso Soriano fool me, but that is what you guys can expect. That is new gameplay features, new pitching features, and a brand new legend. Let me know what you guys think about what we saw today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Love you all to death. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I hope you guys have a great day. There goes some Saudi. Yeet.